appreciate you guys for jumping on. And for those who can't, if you're in the chat and you cannot find the PDF for the affirmations, like, don't worry yourself to death if you don't see them, because I am going to email it to everybody that's on here. So everybody that's on here, your email is captured. So I will be sending an email to you all, like the reminder you got about an hour before this started. I'll send an email with with any attachments. I'll send it. I'll send a flyer for next week's training. I'll send the PDFs as well, so we can make sure that we get that covered. Hold on. Who is that popping up that's not muted? Let me see. If everybody can mute themselves, that will be fantastic. Well, let me see if I could. All right, everybody should be muted now. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And again, if Darlene says it says waiting for host, do you need to let her in? Nope. The waiting room is shut down, so she's not in a waiting room. So Miss Blanton, she is in the wrong webinar somewhere. So if you can, however you got in, Miss Blanton, if you could send her that information, because she's in the wrong webinar, because I disabled the waiting room, so she shouldn't be in the waiting room. Thank you. Yep, she should not be in the waiting room. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here, and hopefully we can get Darlene squared away here, get her in this deal. Thank you guys again for joining us. And we are going to be doing like a weekly webinar, just really talking about some things on entrepreneurship as it relates to your business here. And the reason why we're doing it this way is because I know you guys are getting three-way calls and invite to the meeting and all the 10 core commitments and your business solutions and whatever area of Legal Shield that you're in, you're getting all the training and all those different Zooms and webinars. And I'm on those as well. And my team calls and all that stuff. But what we want is for you all to understand how to become entrepreneurs. And that's what the book that I'm writing is about, becoming an entrepreneur in the network marketing industry. And I know some of the people that are on this webinar right now that are very seasoned in being a business owner. And they understand that in order for you to operate a successful network marketing company or a business, you definitely need to understand being a business owner. You have to understand being an entrepreneur. And in this climate, COVID-19, all this stuff that's going on, first time anybody on this line probably has really witnessed something like this. We know at a time like this, you got to make sure you're not going through depression. You got to make sure you're not stopping your business until all this ends. We happen to be in the industry with a product that we can sell throughout this. And actually, we can make more sales during this time if you focus on really building this thing. And you can also recruit people who are staying at home because they don't have any other option. So really becoming an entrepreneur and understanding, hey, I understand this trade. I understand what it means to really recruit. I understand what it means to sell. All those things are important, but we're going to talk about some mindset things, because until you make a decision, you won't hit executive director and hold on to it. Until you make a decision, you will not get to a ring, because you have to make a decision to do those things. So wealthy people, millionaires, don't just wake up one day and say, well, I'm going to do enough. I'm just going to get up and do the same thing every day and just and get wealthy. No, they have to make a decision to get wealthy. That's what we want you all to do. And that's why we're doing things like vision boards and stuff like that, because while you're locked in right now, this is no better time to create your vision board while you can't go out anyway. And then that way, when the doors open up, all of your admin stuff has been done while you were locked in, and now you can really hit the streets running full speed ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the screen shared and start looking at some of this information here. All right, so you see where it says here, and normally for the guys that know, I normally don't do a slideshow. I work with a coach that's helping me with my book and my company. And okay, we got Darlene in, good stuff. And if anybody knows Linda Gray, somebody help Linda Gray out. She's trying to get in here and she can't get in here. So If you know Linda Gray, reach out to her, help pull her inside this webinar. So I normally don't do slides. So for those that normally get on my trainings, you know that this is probably new for you. But my coach is telling me that I need to start doing slides because some people learn differently and they need to have slides. So this slideshow will be emailed to you as well. So I will be giving you the slideshow for you to have for yourself after this is all over with. So you'll get an email probably tomorrow with PDFs in these slides as well. So that's all part of what you guys are going to get for being on this webinar. So you see it says putting a price value on your head, taking responsibility for your business decisions, and creating a vision in the beginning of your success. And when we start this, it's about creating value for yourself. So I want you guys to, hold on, let me back up one slide here. I want you guys to really see the value in how we start this. So this training will increase your mindset, get you focused on creating value for yourself as an entrepreneur, and we will assist you in understanding why it's important to take responsibility for your past actions, your current choices, and every life-changing decision you make from this point forward in your business and in your life, because we know success is not really just about running our business, but our life decisions as well. So in closing, we're going to discuss the importance of creating a detailed vision board, vision board, how to use your affirmations to not only increase your value, but to expand your visions. And we want you to come out of COVID-19 stronger, because when this is all over with, we need you to have more money in your bank account. We need you to be better in personal development. We need you to be better at team building. We need you to be better at membership sales. So when you come out of this, you better be better at something, because you cannot be at home watching reruns and Netflix and like, I got it. I know you want to watch some TV. I know you're going to watch some things on TV, but you got to sharpen yourself during this time. You should come out of this exciting. When the doors open up, you should be running out with new information, new knowledge, new people that you want to contact, that you want to sit down with. So we hopefully that you guys will get that out of what we're going to be going over. So what you're going to expect in this training is the power of affirmations, and you're going to receive those 100 affirmations via PDF. If you downloaded them already, that's fantastic. If you haven't downloaded them yet, then hold on, sorry. If you haven't downloaded them yet, then we will be sending them out to you via email. And who better to go over affirmations than the one and only Miss Darlene Quincy. And if you haven't heard her go over affirmations, you will tonight, and it's going to blow you away. I know some of you guys are on the line just because you want to hear her go over affirmations. So she's going to be the one starting that off, because affirmations are how you start your day. So affirmations are going to be how we start this webinar as well. Using affirmations and mindset to increase your value, taking control of your life and your business by taking responsibility, creating and using a vision board, using a vision, but understanding that the provision will come once you create a vision, and then training your brain to do whatever you want it to do. And some of these things that I have listed here, you're going to see in the future. I'm going to be doing direct webinars talking about just that title, because it's so in depth that you're going to want to get more in an entire webinar. So let's look at value. Just a quick quote by Gandhi: your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. So we want to make sure you guys understand, just keep in mind, like, say these things to yourself. That's why I'm gonna send you the slideshow. You don't have to take pictures of it. I'm gonna send it to you. These are things that you should be saying to yourself and understanding. Like, the law of attraction is real. What you think is what you have. And if you don't believe that, you don't need to wait to start thinking about specific things. Think about your life right now. Think about what you think about on a daily basis and where you're at in your life and what you have. Whether you're saying it negatively or positively, just think about those things, and you'll see that what you have is pretty much based on your thought pattern. So we go back here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to open up Darlene Quincy here. If I'm gonna pull her and try to get her unmuted here so she can share her screen. But for those that don't know, Mrs. Darlene Quincy is a 150K ring earner. She's a 150K income earner with Legal Shield, and she doesn't even do Legal Shield full time. She's also a Millionaire Club member, and I call her an affirmation specialist. She didn't title herself that. I titled her that. But I want you guys to really hear from Darlene Quincy, because not only does she understand affirmations, she's using them herself. But it's so passionate that you're gonna be able to hear that drive, that energy, like just going through her as she talks about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull you on this list, Darlene Quincy, and get you unmuted here and get your camera unmuted so we can hear your voice here. I'm looking. Okay, unless you in here by a different name. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do here too? Darlene Quincy, if you are on, go ahead and unmute yourself. I just allowed you for you to be able to unmute yourself.
Okay, there we go.
You there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Ah, there you go. There you go.
There we go. We've had
all
a little
right. So now that you're unmuted, let me do this. Are you still unmuted?
I am. Could you allow me to share my screen?
Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and stop mine so you can start yours.
All righty. How's everyone doing this evening? So sorry for the technical difficulties, but we're going to make it through it tonight. So great call so far, Mr. Dunbar. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share tonight. Just the affirmations. A few of you guys heard me speak. I've done the affirmations in several different aspects, and so recently did them on the Legal Shield Momentum call that we have every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This evening, I want to do the exact same affirmations. I put them on the screen here. You guys don't have to take screen prints of this. If you want to, you can. But I won't be emailing them out if Mr. Dunbar wants to do them. The thing that you have to understand is the affirmations for me, they come from either me hearing messages like what I heard Mr. Dunbar speak tonight. Today we had a momentum call. If I hear something that really inspires me, what I typically do is I just write it down and then I turn it into an affirmation, something that I can go back to and speak it into life. So I call this feeding my spirit and starving my doubts to death. So this is all I have. This is what I know to do. Even in tough times like what we're experiencing in our business with the COVID virus, I mean, many of us can think of all the different excuses of why our business may not be moving as quickly as it should. But I want us to just kind of take a moment and just breathe and just, take the call that we have in the mornings and then follow that with the affirmations. And then you get your day going. So I'm going to start at the very top, and it's 100 of them, okay? And so I can do these 100 in literally 7 minutes, and that's what you should be able to do before you kind of get your day started, or even when you're driving in your car. Once we get back to getting out and we're not in social distancing, you'll have an opportunity to be in your car and just speaking life into your business, your family. Really, it's not just your business, it's your family. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the very top. So thank you for, first, I always I give credit where credit is due. Thank you for our leadership in Legal Shield, that they operate in greatness, power, and your ability is on their ability for us to win. So let me just pause right there, because I don't make any apologies for what I believe in. And this is not a Christian message. This is not a whatever faith you believe in. It's not any of that. So I don't want you to take this and say, well, I'm not a Christian and that's all they do on that call and that's what they did and that's what Miss Quincy is. No, that's just what I believe in. So you can believe in whatever and whoever you decide to. I just choose to believe and serve what I serve. Okay. So number 2, out of my mouth comes the atmosphere for signs and wonders. Show me things to come. I declare faith in my finances that they will increase no matter what it looks like or seems like. I am proof producer. I am a proof producer. Good things happen in me, through me, and around me because of who is with me. Everything I touch prospers. I experience promotion and increase beyond my wildest dreams. I'm an heir according to the promise that says I am an heir of the world's riches, endowments of all advantages, the resources and the pleasures are all mine. I'm a rightful heir and I have a right to my inheritance. I'm going to pause. You guys can't see my screen, right? Mr. Dunbar?
Yep, we can see it.
Good. My business will experience a sudden surge forward. I have unlimited favor, surpassing greatness. I stand out. My presence demands an explanation. I have the advantage to progress supernaturally. All of my desires come to pass in a much faster rate than I can ever imagine for me, my family, and my team. I'm going to pause. As I'm saying these, you say them with me. Speak them. I mean, they're right on the screen. So just say them with me. Now, I don't have all the punctuation marks because Darlene just wrote this, you know, as I'm writing it, right? And so I just put them out here and then I clean it up later. Okay, so number 13, and you can say this with me. All of my desires come to pass in a much faster rate than I can imagine for me and my family and my team. Thank you that you are reorganizing my relationships. My mouth is managed and my tongue is tamed. I have enough mouth management that qualifies me for my breakthrough. Thank you, Father, that you restrain my behavior. I'm a part of the Platinum Circle in Counsel and Legal Shield because I receive unmerited favor. Watch and see. My presence demands an explanation. So when I walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. Father, I thank you for every meeting, presentation, call, email, appointment that has me on their mind. Thank you, inventions, and God, it really should say, thank you for witty inventions, and God guides me. Father, I honor you, and you will make me famous. For every elevation, there is a brand new expectation. I only have profits in my company. I have the capacity to receive even the biggest businesses. I'm well known all over the world. I declare that me and my team have preferential treatment. Thank you, Father, that you will never let me be embarrassed in any area of my life, but I speak to the authority that will show himself strong. Thank you for your grace to get results. Implant the melody of grace on the inside of me. I'm a brand new associate today. I'm excited all over again, and I have a new drive, desire to get results. I work to show myself approved. I have a $200,000 ring by the end of 2020, and you got to put your ring level in that space. Father, help me not to waste my time from things that waste my time. Thank you for lining up the right people. I have the advantage where I shine and I stand out. I declare that I have the Lady of Justice Award. I refuse to lose. I'm the change that leads others. Let me scroll up here. Hopefully I didn't lose my place. I'm the change that leads others. Where did I go? Let's see. Okay, so I declare I have the Lady of Justice. Okay, number 37. I'm a daily goal hitter. Today I will be at the right place at the right time to meet people to build my business. I have a supernatural change of status. I have a supernatural. That means that you don't have anything to do with it. You couldn't have done it on your own. You have a supernatural change in your status. Thank you for the spirit of ease, that everything that I touch, that is sweatless. Father, tell me all the secrets I need to know. I am incredibly rich. I have an endless residual income. I prosper wherever I go and whatever I do. I am a businesswoman or a man with witty inventions. I'm able to go into the marketplace to do business and oversee big accounts because you are with me. I am worthy. I am a great success. Unexpected money falls into my lap. I am building unlimited streams of income. I'm always positive. I'm no longer limited to old conditionings. I'm deserving of wealth. I'm creating my wildest dreams. I grow myself daily by reading, listening to an audio, and make a habit to have success. In my life, preparation is meeting the opportunity. Thank you for the right knowledge so I get the right results. Thank you for giving me preferential treatment. You hold the heart of the king in your hands, and you can turn it whichever way you will or around for my benefit. I have the universe on my side, and angels have been dispatched to bring to pass all the needs for my benefits. All of my no's turn to yes. I posture up daily. I am a winner. I'm walking seminar. The fight that I have in me says I win. I have a supernatural woman on the inside, or a superwoman on the inside of me. I cease from worry and struggling. I dominate my brand. I'm one of the top business solutions associates in Legal Shield. I'm a platinum ED and put the activity in place to be where I see myself and belong. I will be at every big event. I will not miss anything that belongs to me, not money, not awards, not in any recognition. My winter may have been tough, but my spring and my joy is here. No members will cancel their membership. Every credit card, bank account is good, and every member raves about their membership. Every member will receive their new membership email, download their apps, and will review their email and complete their will. Every member will give and send me referrals. Every person that I've called will have me on their mind, and they will call me back promptly to sign up or to schedule an appointment. People are in hot pursuit of me to get the membership and become an associate. Father, show me what to do, and I don't know what to do. So look, guys, I'm at number 78. And I think that was probably now 6 or 7 minutes. Mr. Dunbar, I'll keep going if you want me to, but if not, I'll stop right there.
Oh no, you got to go through the rest of them, Darlene Quincy. Come on, now, I ain't going for that.
Okay, so here we go. Every member will give and send me referrals. Every person that I've called will have me on their mind and call. Now, see, guys, I'm just making confessions into what I believe. It doesn't mean that people keep calling me back. It doesn't mean that everybody gives me referrals, but I call those things, the word says, that be not as though they were. Number 77, people are in hot pursuit of me to get the membership and become an associate. Father, show me what to do when I don't know what to do. Give me wisdom and open up doors that no man can shut. I will stretch myself every day towards my goals. I'm a people magnet, and I will meet people who will change the rest of my life. I'm committed to Legal Shield, my business, that I am the CEO over, and I will not quit on me. I have more than 100 active, strong associates in my organization that would duplicate 10 levels deep. My organization has a 90% retention rate or better, nothing missing, and I declare it is established. I don't ever receive a pre-cancellation email. And if I do before I can call them, they've already updated their information to remain a member. 100% signups at every group that I do. People want to join my business. New ring earners will show up that I don't even know about yet, but they will find me. I have an organization where I'm doing 50 or more three-way calls. Every month, my TNV or my whatever your organization is produces a ring earner. Recognition called me today to inform me of my, you got to put the blank in there. What are you believing for? So no one will steal my peace, number 91. 92, Father, pile on the riches so that I can build treasury. My body functions to the perfection in which you designed or created it to function. Thank you for surprising me today. I'm a distribution center. I declare anointing to get results. Deliver what needs to be delivered to me today. Thank you for bringing the right people in my life. I walk by faith and not by sight. And finally, I take authority out of all the people that are listening to this call. Everybody ought to say this with me. I take authority over this coronavirus, and I declare it will stop its plans and maneuvers against our country, our families, and our businesses. And as quickly as it started, it shall or it will disappear. And I always conclude my affirmations with, and I believe, I receive these things, and I dispatch the angels to go forth and bring it all to pass. And then, of course, I say, in Jesus' name, amen. And with that, Mr. Dunbar, that are the affirmations, the 100 affirmations. And I've got 236 and probably have more. I could even say my goal is to have my 300 recruits by the 19th of this month. I believe I receive it. I thank you that when I sit at my desk in the morning, that people keep looking for me to do me good. I can say that my team, while it may look this one way, but I'm looking forward to a turnout in a different way. I'm looking for 10 brand new people this week. Why would I settle for 3 when I can call those things that be not as though they were? So with that, Mr. Dunbar, I'm going to turn the call back over to you. Thank you again so much for allowing me to share.
Oh, absolutely. Let me ask you a question. Did you say those first thing in the morning when you get up? Like, do you like get up and like, is that the first thing you do before you roll out of your bed? Like, how does that work for you?
No, I think it's different for me. It's different. Since we have the momentum call in the mornings, we have a prayer call also at my church. And I'm not being deep, guys. Please, I'm not a deep person. You don't have to refer to Miss Quincy as the Bible scholar, the whatever. We have to have prayer in the morning at my church with all the COVID things that are going on. So at 9:30. So, and then about 10 o'clock, we got the momentum call. So as I'm really sitting in my office, I may take about 5 or 10 of these, and I may just begin to speak, or instead of it being in my mind, because sometimes people say, well, I'm just going to pray in my mind. But as soon as the phone rings, your mind is shot, right? So I have to speak. That is so important. I'm glad you asked that question, because I have to say it out loud. Father, I thank you that my day is blessed. I thank you that today, that when I open up my email, that I will get a response from every person that I email from a group perspective. Father, I thank you. So I come up with the 10. It may not be all of them on this list, but I do have to say something to affirm who I believe and what I believe is going to happen for that day. Hopefully that answered your question.
No, it did. And it did. And the reason why I asked you that question is because it's so very important to start your day right. And I've heard everybody from TMB to the Million organization all talk about the same thing. When you get up in the morning, you got to get your focus. Like with me, when I get up in the morning, I listen to religious things for about an hour before I do anything else. And then I go into my personal development stuff before I do anything else. So when I finish that hour, which is my time to get ready to go work out, then when I go get in my car to work out, when I'm driving to go work out, I'm listening to nothing but personal development. I haven't looked at an email. I haven't did any text messages. I haven't done any of that. I don't even start working until I get my mind right, because you got to get up and get your mind together before you do anything else.
Right. I want to share one other thing, Mr. Dunbar, that I started doing. If you guys, and I'm looking around for my calendar, if you guys don't have a calendar, like just for your desk, what I started doing is the momentum call. I started writing little notes in the calendar on what was talked about, so I can go back and say, yeah, I believe I'm never willing to be in a particular situation, or I eliminate what people think about me. That's what Mr. Self talked about on Monday. Mr. Brown talked about, I'm not in Legal Shield. It's a franchise, or it's my own franchise, or however he said it. But I'll go back and I'll redo those so that I can look at it and see how I'm progressing and what I'm believing for to happen. My calendar needs to be full with stuff. So I'm making confessions over my calendar. It needs to be full. It can't be empty, right? So, okay.
No, you're good. That's good. And the reason why I wanted you to go first is because value was the first topic. And what we don't realize, guys, is self-esteem is self-esteem. Yes, we know we can go out in the field and talk to people and things that'll happen. Like, hey, do me a favor, unshare your screen real quick. And you guys have that PDF. So when you go out and market this plan or recruit or whatever you're going to do, people shut the door in your face. All kind of things happen. Your self-esteem gets bad. You got all this stuff going on. People getting sick. People passing. You being stuck in the house. Your self-esteem will drop sometimes. Different things will make you take a hit. Understanding that you got to create value for yourself. Nobody's going to value you until you value yourself. That's very important for you to understand. And affirmations in the morning gives you so much confidence, so much value when you get up, and it will change the outcome of your day. And this is why we're doing these Zooms, because I get it that you know how to do a three-way call. I get it that you know how to recruit. I get it that you know how to sell a membership. But what happens when something goes wrong? What happens when somebody says something to irritate you? What happens when a recruit that is not very knowledgeable or just doesn't have a lot of common sense ends up on your team, and you're talking to them in a nasty demeanor because you don't have good personal development or because you haven't set up your day correctly? That's why these things are so important. So when we're looking at these different topics here, 1 second, let me pull this up. Looking at these different topics here that we're talking about, this is why these things are so very important. Affirmations and what are you worth, right? Who put the price on your head? What are you worth and who put the price on your head? For those that just joined the webinar, don't worry about taking pictures of the slide, because if you're on the webinar, I'm going to email you the entire slideshow. What are you worth and who put the price on your head? Guys, that is so very important, because some of you all, most of you all on this line either have a full-time job or have had one before. And right now your boss has a price on your head. Legal Shield has a price on your head too. The difference is the price is based on how much work you're willing to do, because Legal Shield will pay you more if you do more work. So right now you may be a senior manager on the line. You may be a brand new associate. You might be an executive director and say, hey, I've been an ED. I've never even hit bronze. I've been executive director for 2 years, 3 years straight. And that's great that you've held that level for that long, because you have to qualify every month. But Legal Shield has a price on your head when you're at executive director and you don't move. Why? Because they're paying you the same thing every time a membership is sold, and the only thing that changes is your overrides based on who sold the plan. But you basically have a ceiling over your head simply because you haven't changed levels. But Legal Shield will pay you more. You just have to do more to increase your level. Legal Shield will pay you more. You have to recruit more people so that you get more overrides. Legal Shield will pay you more. You just got to put more memberships on the books so you get more residual income. So Legal Shield will pay you more. You just have to do more to qualify for those bonuses. So Legal Shield will take care of you, right? But you have to know that you have value, and you have to put a price on your head. So you have to say things like, no, I'm worth more than that. I remember when I had the 50K ring and I was running for the $100,000 ring, I gave myself a $100,000 lifestyle in my head, right? And I kept saying, okay, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. I was in the process of me and my ex of getting our granddaughter down here to go through the adoption. And that was costly. And it was different things going on in my life that were up and coming and that I was dealing with at that point that I knew I needed more money for. So I put a higher price on my head because nobody's going to put a higher price on your head. So this information qualifies for you, even if you're the person on the line that's saying, hey, look, I haven't really worked a whole lot on my business, but I do have a good job and I do have a degree hanging on the wall. Because this doesn't discount that. Life is life. You've got a price on your head based on that degree on the wall. You've got to have a plan B going on the side of your plan A. So if that company says, all we're going to pay you is $150,000 a year because you got a master's or a PhD or whatever you have on this line, we're going to pay you $150,000 a year. You are worth more than that. I'm telling you, you're worth more than that. And if that company is not going to pay you more, I'm not saying leave the company. I'm saying take your free time and do something else to create income to add to that. Because if you can make an extra 6 figures in Legal Shield, now you're at $250,000 a year. And then you got to be able to tell yourself, I'm worth more than that. You cannot let somebody put a price on your head. That's all part of value, and affirmations will do that for you. Because once you keep speaking that to yourself, when we start talking about vision, you will train your brain to do whatever you want it to do. You can have in your life whatever you want. There are people on this line, I'm assuming there's people on this line right now that know when I joined Legal Shield, when it was prepaid legal, when I first joined, and I was just a associate in the marketplace. And I went from being an associate in the marketplace to being a regional manager in the state of Florida for 5.5 years. And from there to a national trainer, to a 50K ring earner, to a 6-figure ring earner. So, and I've even trained on a national stage. And why am I saying these things? Is because I thought better of myself before I got to that place. I didn't say, wake up one day and say, oh, you know what? I hit executive director. No, I ran for executive director. I put it in my head. Some of you all know the story. I stole the signs off the table at our Super Saturdays in Florida before I was an executive director. I stole the reserved for executive director signs off the table, put them in my garage against the wall. So when I drove my car in the garage, it said reserved for executive director. And then I made it to executive director. And when I got to ED and I held on to it, I stole the signs that said reserved for ring earners. And I put that on my back wall on the garage. So when I put them to the garage, it said reserved for ring earners. So I'm telling you guys, it works that way. Your brain does whatever you tell it to do because your brain doesn't know anything but what you're telling it and what it's seeing through your eyes. So what you're looking at every day. So if you're looking at nonsense, your brain understands that you want that. If you're looking at drama, then guess what your brain thinks? You want drama. If you're spending your time with ring earners and you're taking a picture and telling a ring earner, take your ring off, put it on my finger, and you take a picture of that ring on your finger and put it on your whiteboard or your vision board or hang it in your car. What is your brain seeing? Your brain is seeing that you want that ring on your finger and you will earn that ring. So you have to create value for yourself and think how, people will pay you more when you demand more because you won't accept anything less. You've got to have standards. You've got to say, I'm worth more than what I'm being paid and do something about that. That's all part of really seeing the value in yourself. So let's move into a couple other things here on this slide. Y'all know I'm not good with these slideshows. Y'all got to work with me on this. I'm learning. I normally don't like doing those slides. I'm trying to get better. So who put that price on your head? I don't know. Maybe it was your boss. Maybe it was a family. Maybe your parents told you, hey, look, if you can get to $50,000 a year, then you're doing good. You're doing better than us. We only did 30,000. And that may have stuck in your head, and that's who put the price in your head. So you have to ask yourself, who's putting the price on my head? Who's doing that to me? Because somebody has put in your head that you're only worth what you're making right now today. And you're worth so much more. I promise you, Darnell Self didn't think when he was going through his trials and tribulations, when Tracy Self was giving him $20 a day while he was going out and prospecting, when his car was being repoed, when he was going through that, he wasn't thinking he was going to be making $1 million plus a year. And that's his story, but I dealt with those same things. When I was a business owner before this, and I had my assisted living, I had ulcers so bad that it was days I couldn't get out the bed because I was dealing with financial issues and losing clients, and I lost 3 properties out of my 8 properties. I had 2 cars repoed in my life in the last 15 years. So I've had so many things happen to me that I had to start telling myself it's got to be a better way, and I had to start telling myself that I was worth more, I could do better if I push myself. And that's what really got me into, personal development got me into that space to be able to do that and move forward on those things. So so let's shift gears a little bit and look at taking responsibility for where we at, so that you guys understand where that's at. So wherever you are, be there totally. And that's funny because that was talked about on a call, on a momentum call, the morning momentum call the other day. Be where you're at. Darnell Self talked about that. Wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have 3 options. Remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. And that's the story that we hear Alistair Edwards tell all the time about the dog sitting on a porch, sitting on a nail. You can whine and mope. You can say, I don't like my commute to work. I don't like my boss. I don't like my coworkers. I don't like what they pay me. But guess what? You've been going there for 10 years, and you're going to go there for 10 more years until you decide that that's hurting you bad enough. So if you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of those 3 options, and you must do that now. You got to do that immediately. This is focus time. This is downtime. This is an opportunity with this epidemic going on for you to really see value in yourself and take responsibility for what's going on. Then you got to accept the consequences. And that's a quote there that I want you guys to look at. So wherever you are in your life today is based upon every decision that you made before today. And I heard that from Mike Humes years ago, and I never forgot that quote when I heard it. Wherever you are in life today is based upon every decision you made before today. And it's your fault. I don't care about your divorce. I don't care whether there's issues going on in your family. I don't care whether you've been hurt before. All of those things are things that happen to everybody. Same wind blows on us all. Jim Rohn was saying that years ago. It's how you deal with it. That's why creating value for yourself is important, because when you know that, hey, I'm bigger than this, you deal with it. The more personal development you get, you'll realize that you start dealing with issues easier and easier and easier. So let's talk a little bit about soul cleansing here as we move forward in responsibility. So quick rendition on soul cleansing. So soul cleansing, the process, not the total process, because I'm keeping it short. I have a Christian counselor that's a friend of mine, and she does soul cleansing. So whether it's a CEO of a company or her next door neighbor may have an issue. It could be them smoking cigarettes. It could be I was molested as a child. It could be I watch porn. It could be I'm an obsessive cheater, or whatever that person's issue is. They go through soul cleansing. So we try to find out what the problem is. What's making you act this way? And then let's get rid of this, so that now as we read books to get better, as we do personal development, it falls in a clean place, not on top of the crap that's there, and it doesn't really get into your soul. So soul cleansing, for us, everybody on the line, that's me including. I do soul cleansing myself on a regular basis. And what I mean by soul cleansing is you've got to take responsibility for where you at. So what's preventing you from putting the price on your head? You have to ask yourself that question. Was it the way I was raised? Because sometimes indirectly your parents put a ceiling over your head. My parents put a ceiling over my head. They didn't mean to do it. And when I realized that ceiling was there, I broke through it, right? It was a time in my life where I felt like, you know what? African Americans have been through so many different things, and slave mentality and all this other kind of stuff. And then I read some books on the Willie Lynch theory. I read some books on why they did slavery. I read some books on what that was all about and what it was meant to do. And when I understood that, then I said, you know what? I'm not going to be held back anymore, because I know what it was in place to do. So you got to realize what your problem is, solve it, take responsibility for it. Don't blame it on somebody else. You cannot blame where you're at on somebody else. It's not your upline's fault that don't answer their phone. It's not Legal Shield's fault because they don't have a training close by you. It's not the speaker in your marketplace's fault because they speak too slow or too fast, or you think they don't do a good business briefing, so you're not going to bring your guests. Take responsibility for your business. So in order for you to have control of your life and your business, you've got to take responsibility for your life. Because if you're not responsible for what's going on, then you can't control what's going on. So in order for you to get that control back, you've got to say, you know what? I'm responsible for this. This is my fault. right? So if somebody has done something to you to prevent you from moving forward, you've got to call that person, text them, email. You got to do something and say, look, I feel like, right? I feel like Darlene Quincy, I may be talking to Darlene Quincy. I feel like it was offensive what you did to me. I know you may not feel that way, but I'm sending you this email. Or I'm making this phone call to you because I want you to let you know that I've forgiven you for it. If you don't feel like you did anything wrong, that's fine. You don't have to respond, but I've forgiven you for it because I need to be able to move forward. That's part of like cleaning that out of your system. So whether somebody did something to you when you were young, whether you got this ceiling that you just can't break through. I can't break through this ceiling because I feel like I've got a mediocre lineage of history in my family. Like everybody, that nobody really was above average. Nobody went to a great college. Nobody had a fantastic degree. They just all did okay. They did okay. You've got to get yourself out of that space. And you've got to take responsibility and say, look, it doesn't matter what my mother and father did. This is what I'm gonna do. So I always tell people this quote because people will see me and they'll say, 4 years ago it was, man, you're building a great team, and I keep seeing you on the calls and the leadership show, and you got these bonuses for fast start qualifying. And shift gears 4 years later, I'm helping run the CDLP department, and I was like, hey, that's the CDLP guy. And I'm like, I'm not the CDLP guy. Don't put a comma. Don't put a period in my name where God put a comma. I'm not the CDL guy, right? I'm an entrepreneur. And I move in a space I need to move in really in a passionate form to really do things that are supportive to whatever I'm a part of because I'm a loyalist. So I want to be supportive in whatever I'm a part of. So CDLP was having some issues. And when I spoke to my leadership, which is Mike Humes and Darnell Sell said, if you find a problem that can't be resolved, then maybe you need to get in and resolve that problem. And that's when I got in there and started resolving that problem, helping resolve that problem, and building in the CDLP space at the same time. So I've still got a team. I still do network marketing, but I'm in a CDLP space because I took responsibility and moved forward. I can't complain about something that worked. I'm not going to do CDL because I don't like the way corporate handles it. No, I'm going to help corporate handle it so that I can do it successfully, and so can everybody else that decides to move in that space. So you've got to take responsibility so that you can take control and move forward. And that's going to be everywhere in your life as you move forward. You've got to take responsibility. So you got to look at your life, look at where you're at in Legal Shield and say, why am I here? Why am I still at manager? Why am I still at senior manager? Why is my team not growing? Why am I recruiting people and they're not fast start qualifying? Why am I not leading my organization? You have to identify the problem and then take responsibility for it. We know leaders take responsibility for what happens when it's good, and when things happen bad, guess what? It's their fault too. It doesn't matter which way the wind blows. If I'm the president of the United States, when something bad happens, it's my fault. When something good happens, guess what I have to do? I have to say that somebody else is responsible for it. That's what being a leader is. So when somebody moves forward on my team, I congratulate them even if I supported them. If something goes wrong in my organization, it's my fault because I lead that organization. So you got to take responsibility for those things. So let's look back at this slideshow. Make sure we can stay on point here as well. So taking control means taking responsibility. And the question is, who is in control of your business and of your life? You've gotta be able to identify that, right? So let's look at vision. Good leaders have vision and inspire others to help them turn vision into reality. Great leaders create more leaders, not followers. Great leaders have vision. They share vision and they inspire others to create their own, right? So I want you guys to look at vision versus provision. So you're going to see here, creating and using a vision board, vision versus provision, and training your brain. So a lot of times when we're looking at, hey, what am I going to do next? How do I move forward? I'm running for the platinum bonus. I'm running for executive director. I'm trying to build my team, or I'm trying to get more groups over, whatever space you're working in this company. And I don't care if it's at your job. Look, I'm at a specific level at my workplace and I'm going to move up because this is for everybody, right? So if you're in a place that you're saying, look, I can actually earn $20,000, $30,000 a year more at my job if I can step my game up. So that's for you too. Vision. You got to create a vision before the provision comes. So when I first started running a business, I tried to just go into it. Like I was like, okay, I got a little bit of money. I'm gonna put it into this business. And I just went into things, and then things got bad for me. And I said, okay, well, you know what? let me see if I can get a loan from the bank, because I had decent credit. I was like, I didn't know anything about how any of that works. I said, let me go and see if I can get a loan from a bank. Well, I didn't realize when I got to the bank was my personal credit report didn't have anything to do with me getting a business loan. And the first question they asked me was, where is your business plan? And I said, well, I already have my business up. I just need more money. They said, yeah, but where's your business plan? And I said, well, I don't have a business plan. And the young lady I was talking to, she said, let me be frank with you. One, we're not going to give you a loan without a business plan. And she said, two, the reason you probably ran into an issue is because you didn't have a business plan. So what I learned right then, 13 years ago, well, 11 years ago now, was that you have to create a business plan so that you kind of know where you're going. Now, you don't know where the money's going to come from. You don't know who you're going to hire. You don't know how good your admin person is going to be. You don't know what kind of complaints are going to come down the pipeline. What you do know is you create a frame, you create a business plan, and then now you've got a step-by-step guide, and then things will go in how they're going to work out how they work out, but things will come in place because you have a vision created. And once you create that vision, like I always say, and actually I stole this from Russell Peters, once you create a vision, the world will conspire to do you good. I promise you guys that's not hokey. It's not hokey. It's the honest truth. Once you create a vision, when I was running for my 100K ring, Danny Katoa, Carlo Brown, Kevin Mack, Darnell Self, Fatima Salam, those were people that Alistair Edwards, people that I was telling on a regular basis, sending them my numbers, right? Making them hold me accountable because I needed to be embarrassed when I saw people who knew I was running, but I was missing my date. You've got to make yourself responsible for building this thing. If you don't make yourself responsible, you're not going to do it correctly. You're going to give yourself an out because guess what? If I miss my goal and nobody knows that goal is there but me, then really what happens? You just keep it to yourself. Oh, my goal was April 1st. I missed it. Well, I'll push it to May. Nobody's calling you or texting you and asking you why you missed. What did you do wrong? They're not allowing you to identify the issue or the challenge and then make yourself responsible for it. So you've got to understand when you're moving forward in these things, you've got to create a vision. Don't worry about the provision. The provision will take care of itself. The provision will take care of itself. So you've got to say, hey, I gotta get a vision board. I've got to put things in my car. I've got to put things on my bathroom mirror. So I see that when I'm brushing my teeth and washing my face when I get up in the morning. And I see that on my mirror when I'm brushing my teeth and washing my face before I go to bed. And if you're not seeing it then you need to be brushing your face and washing your teeth at night before you go to bed. So make sure you're looking at those things in those places. So that's very important for you to realize as well. Keeping that vision there. Your brain is working on a provision and the people around you are. And it's not even within their will. This is what you got to understand. The world will conspire to do you good. So 30-second story. When I was running for the 100K ring, I got a good friend in this business by the name of Stephen Hill. Some of you guys know him, some of you guys don't. Stephen Hill is a friend of mine. He stepped away from Legal Shield a little bit because he has 2 other businesses that he's running. And he was having some issues with them. He stepped away to run those businesses. And he called me while I was on my run, and he didn't even know I was running. He didn't know I had set that goal because he was in Chicago at the time. So he called me and said, hey, look, this is what's going on with me. He told me a story about his businesses having some issues, and he was up there fixing them. He said, I've got several groups in my account, and I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to go ahead and turn them over to you so that you can work them while I'm doing this. When he called me and told me that, I said, you know what? I appreciate you doing that because I'm actually running for the ring, and I need as much business coming in as possible. He said, oh, I didn't know you was running for your 100K ring. I said, what? And I was always running for it, but I had really no. Everybody on this line is running for something, kinda, but you're not really running for it. I was always like, yeah, I'm going for my 100K ring. You know, who getting that 100K ring next? That was me raising my hand. But I hadn't made a decision. So I made that decision, but I didn't tell him. And when he gave me those accounts, I started working those accounts, and I got some business out those accounts. The world will conspire to do you good, but you gotta let the world know what your vision is. If you don't let the world know what your vision is, then who's gonna conspire to do you good when nobody knows that you're actually trying to do something good? You've gotta let people know that. You got to say it to the world. You got to say it to yourself in affirmations. You got to tell people in conversation. You got to say, yeah, I'm working with Legal Shield, and I'm trying to get myself to my 100K ring or my 50K ring, or I want to hit executive director and make sure that I can hold on to that and lead my team. You got to say those things out loud to people. You got to say them out loud to yourself. You got to say them out loud to your family. You've got to do that. That's creating vision. And the vision board aspect of it is so amazing that next week, we're going to do an entire webinar on nothing but vision boards. So we're going to literally create vision boards on the webinar, show you how to do it, why it's important, what you should be understanding about vision boards and how they stick into your head, and how to create a success board, which is a separate board that will show you, okay, I've already done these things. So 2 years ago, I said I wanted this, and now I have it, and you're going to put that on your success board, because we want you to be grateful for what you have. So we want you to look at a board and say, hey, you know what? This is what I'm shooting for. And then look at a board and say, man, you know what? In the last 2 years, I've been able to attain this, my BMW and my bigger house. And, I was able to spend more time with my kids. And if you're a father on the line who don't spend as much time with your kids because the mother may have them in a separate house and you've just been so busy you haven't been able to, you may put that on your vision board. Hey, I want to get my son every weekend, not every other weekend. I want to get my daughter every weekend, not every other weekend, whatever it may be. And then put them on your success board once you've accomplished it. And now you're not only looking at what you're going to do, but you're going to look at how this has already worked for you. So that's going to be next week. Vision board, how to create a powerful vision board. And I'm going to be accompanied by the wonderful, one of our newest six-figure ring earners, Mrs. Jackie Cote is going to be doing that with me. And then a week after that, we're going to be hitting it hard on SMART goals and talking about how to do SMART goals and finding an accountability partner so that you've got somebody to work with. And who am I going to be doing that with? My ace boom cool, my bestie, Sharanda Ivy, is going to be doing that with me in 2 weeks from now. So every week we're going to be doing something else to help you build in the space of entrepreneurship, not just Legal Shield, so that now you can say, I'm going to tie this entrepreneurship into my business. And not only am I going to understand how to be a really good network marketer, but I'm going to know how to be an entrepreneur and build a successful network marketing business in a company that's not going anywhere. So you got a momentum call in the morning that Darren yourself is doing with several Millionaire Club members chiming in and doing that. You got on every Wednesday a webinar helping you become a better entrepreneur. And then all week, all day long, you got Legal Shield giving us tons and tons and tons of information on how to be a sharp network marketer and really get the best out of your Legal Shield experience. So as it comes to vision, guys, you got to start creating a vision, because the world will not conspire to do you good if you don't create a vision. In my trainings, I tell people all the time, your brain can make you a millionaire or a mass murderer, right? It can make you a six-figure ring earner or a serial killer. It depends on how you use your brain. So training your brain to do whatever you want it to do is just about you putting the right things in front of your brain. So let's take a trip down psychology lane. If you look at when somebody shoots up a school, somebody kills a bunch of people, somebody does some kind of crime where they've put several people to death under some whatever circumstance. When they start showing you about the investigations that's going on, when the news is going over the story, what do they tell you? What is the first thing they do? They go to their home, they get their computer, they look at what they're reading, they look at what they're listening to, they go to their social media accounts and what groups are you in, right? What content are you taking in? Why do you think law enforcement does that? They do that because what they're trying to do is figure out what the person's mindset was. What made, right, Joe Smo get up in the morning, load up a gun, right, or guns, put them in the trunk of their car, drive to some community area, whether it be a church or a school or somewhere else, get out and unload a weapon. You don't just wake up in the morning and do that. That's not the way that works. You're conditioned to do that. You're reading things that tell you that that's okay to do. You're part of groups. You're being fed that into your mind for long enough that you think that it's okay to do it. You have rationalized that behavior and then you go out and do it. Don't you think that works the other way as well? Don't you think that if you condition yourself to be successful, if you're around successful people, if all the Facebook groups and chats and Instagrams and all the things that you're in are all successful entrepreneurs talking about building successful businesses, if there are people saying, this is how you become an entrepreneur, and you're looking at those things, right? That's where you're at. If you're on Instagram looking at Instagram models and that's all you're looking at, then guess what you're telling your brain? I want an Instagram model. That's what you're telling yourself. Because your brain sees that and says, okay, Robert Dunbar wants a girl that looks like this, because that's what he keeps liking and that's what he keeps following. So obviously that's what he's into. But if I follow pages that are about entrepreneurs, if I'm a woman and I follow women empowerment pages and how women can be successful in this country and how single women with kids can build a fantastic lifestyle for them and their family, even with a full-time job, that's what your brain says you want to do, and that's what it works on. You can train your brain by putting different information in front of your brain. I constantly make sure that whatever I'm listening to in the background is always personal development, right? And you need a break sometimes. It's okay to watch television shows. I'm not saying you can't watch TV. What I'm saying is when you're unconsciously doing things, it needs to be things that you want to happen in your future. Don't unconsciously listen to drama. If you want to sit down and say, I like this drama show, I'm gonna watch it for an hour, then you sit down and you watch that drama show for an hour. That's fine. But you shouldn't have that playing in your background for 4 or 5 hours while you're doing other things, because your brain is soaking that up and believing that that's what's important to you. That's why being on a momentum call, that's why being on an accountability call, that's why having a calendar set up with things every day that are progressive, your brain says, look, all this man is doing, all this woman is doing is progressive things. They're getting up in the morning, they're doing a routine, they're eating healthy, right? They're listening to inspirational stuff. Then they're working out, then they're coming home and they're getting in front of their computer and they're doing whatever it is they do for a living that's progressive, or they're going to work and they're working their job and they're doing good somewhere. And then they're coming home and then they're listening to personal development on the drive to work and on the drive home. They're putting nothing but positive things in their space. So this man or woman must only want positive things. That's exactly how it works. I wasn't able to get in shape and lose weight by saying, okay, I'm gonna go follow this diet and get on this diet. And no offense to diets, because diets work. I'm not knocking diets. What I did was I said, no, I don't want to get on a diet and get off of it and gain the weight. I don't want to get a trainer to train me in the gym for 6 months. And then when I get tired of paying this man or paying this woman, I stop doing it. And then I go back to whatever shape I was in. I said, I'm gonna change my lifestyle. So what did I do? I started reading health quotes, reading health articles on my computer. Right? I started buying different food and putting it in my refrigerator. I started replacing things. So that's what I went to my refrigerator and I said, okay, this isn't good for me, but what am I going to replace it with that's good? This isn't good for me, right? I got juice in my refrigerator. I got things that I'm drinking that weren't good for me in my refrigerator. What did I do? I said, I'm going to replace all of this with water. I'm only going to buy bottled water. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you this is what I did. So now I don't drink anything but bottled water. And my brain is so used to drinking bottled water, guess what my brain does now? My brain doesn't want anything else. If I drink Gatorade, I can only sip it. I can't drink a bottle of Gatorade because it's too sweet. I can't drink any juice, it's too sweet. My brain and my body is conditioned to, it wants water. Because I've trained my brain to do what I wanted to do. It was a time in my life where if it rained, I wasn't going to the gym. If I got up too late, I wasn't going to the gym. Why? Because I really didn't want to go to the gym. But now I've conditioned myself and I'll go every single day. So now if it rains, I go in the rain because my body says, oh no, you're not going to even act right today if you don't go to the gym. Your mind is not going to be in the right place if you don't go to the gym. Your routine is not going to be in the right place if you don't go to the gym. You got to go exercise, even if it's just to walk for a little bit. I've got to do it. Why am I talking about this? Because I've trained my brain to not eat things that was good for me, to not say exercising is not important. And after I did that for so long, it's natural for my brain. So now my brain is doing, so now when my body doesn't feel like doing something, my brain says, hey, you got to get up. We got to go, right? We got to go, right? We got to get up at 5:45. Like I haven't gotten enough sleep. No. My body is tired. My brain is saying, no. We do 5:45 a.m. because I've trained my brain to do what I want it to do. And now my brain is saying, hey, I don't need the training wheels no more. I got the vision. I've got the vision. I see value that you haven't reached yet. You already took responsibility for the things that went wrong, and you're correcting them, and you got a vision. So we got to move forward in this vision. I don't care whether your body tired or not. We'll catch up on rest. We'll crash at some point, but we got to get up at 5:45 in the morning so we can be out the house at 6:45 in the morning so we can go get our exercise and then get back in so we can get to the office and get some work done. Your brain will push you to do things once you train your brain that that's what you want. The problem is most of us have trained our brain unconsciously to do things that's not good for us. So I need you to really focus on doing that, guys. We're about to be closing out here. I know it's a little bit past 11 o'clock. I know some of y'all like to lay down earlier than this. And next week's webinar, by the way, is going to be 9 to 10 Eastern time, not 10 to 11, 9 to 10, an hour earlier for you guys. If you logging in from somewhere else, then it's earlier for you anyway. I know some of y'all are on the West Coast, and actually it's a couple people from Hawaii here. So, all right, so let's look at something. Back up. Okay, so creating that vision board, we're going to make sure that we do that. We're going to make sure that we create that vision board next week. But before we close out, I do want to mention some things about the vision board just because it's important for me to mention here. Sorry about that. So on the vision board, guys, so that you're prepared for next week, for those that'll be on for the vision board. Well, I need you guys to get some kind of board. You know, I mean, I know most of you guys aren't going out. If you can get to a store, get it. If you can't get to a store because you got everything in your house you need or whatever, and you just don't want to go out, because I don't want anybody to go out and get sick to get a vision board. If you can go out safely, go out and get you a big board. Now let me show you guys something here. This is a small board, actually. This is one of my smaller boards that I have right here, but I've got one like double this size. And it's hanging up right above my computer, and that's what I use for my vision board. But I'm going to recreate it. I'm going to do next week when we're doing vision boards. I'm going to do a new vision board because I haven't done one in 2020. And I want you guys to start thinking about the kind of house that you live in, that you want to live in, the kind of car you want to drive, the kind of success that you want. Whatever it is, guys, it don't have to just be. It's not just financial. It could be family. It could be having another child. It could be building a better relationship with your brothers and sisters or your parents or anything like that. Whatever it is that you want, this is your homework. I want you to write it down. I want you to write down what you want for your future. And then I want you to go online and pull images that you can print off that you can put on that vision board. Because next week, we're going to actually be working on vision boards on the webinar. And that's going to be very important for us because I want you guys to see the power in waking up and going to bed and throughout your day, looking at this board. And because not only is it going to work for you, but your family, your children are going to look at that board and say, hey, mom, dad, like, what is this? Like, why you got this up here? Like, what's this big house? And what's your answer? Right? You heard Darlene Quince. What's your answer? This is the house that we're going to move into next. You see, you're training your brain with this stuff because now it starts to be a reality. I remember seeing a quote not too long ago that says a visionary lies to only himself. A liar lies to everybody. So as a visionary, you want to keep in mind, people say fake it till you make it, but you got to be trying to make it. You got to be trying to make it. So when I gave this story on a momentum call about sneaking in a ring earner party when I wasn't a ring earner, and people was like, oh my God, you stuck in a ring earner party? Yeah, but I stuck in a ring earner party to be, yes, it can be a digital board, Rita. Thanks for the question. It could be a digital board. So if you want to do a digital vision board, you can, because I just saw that pop up in chat. So yes, I snuck in a ring earner event. Yes, it was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. Again, take responsibility. I shouldn't have done it. But it was the reason I did that wasn't to make other people feel like I was a ringer. I wasn't doing that because I was like, oh, I need to make everybody think I'm a ringer. No, I did it because I'm like, I got to get myself in this space. And as a leader, like I took that risk. Because actually, I didn't get in trouble, but I got a phone call about it. So, you know what I mean? So I didn't really get in trouble, but it was addressed that I did it. But that was when I was running for my 50K ring, and now I'm a 100K ringer. So the thing is, I faked it, but I made it. So you can't fake it and don't have intentions on making it. So when you look at your child and say, this is the house you're going to move into next, you got to believe that. You got to believe that you're going to move into that house next. You got to believe that that's the next car you're going to get. And if it's not the next car, you're going to get that car in the next couple of years. You got to believe that your finances, that what you say going to be in your savings account is going to be in. You got to believe it. It's got to be passionate. It cannot be something that you're just saying because you think it's hokey, because it's not hokey. It's reality. That's why it was so important when Darlene Quincy said, this is not about religion. And people lose track of law of attraction because they're like, well, I don't want this law of attraction thing. This is hokey spiritual thing. No, it's reality. It's life. It's you training your brain to make the world conspire to do you good. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care whether you believe in the moon and stars, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in Muhammad, whether you believe in Jesus. I don't care what you believe in. Believe that if you train your brain, that you will get exactly what you want if you push yourself. I was calling myself a national trainer before I was a national trainer. That's how that works. I traveled 47 times last year to train. So I was calling myself a national trainer before it got in place. And what did my brain say? This guy must want to be a national trainer. So you put those things on your board. So you're going to have some testimonials next week on that and us doing it actually on the webinar, because I want you guys to get it. And I want you guys to understand that it takes more than a skill set to be an entrepreneur. It takes more than being the top recruiter to be successful in network marketing. Because you could be the top recruiter, but if you can't lead and you don't have a vision and you don't take responsibility and you don't have value and you're not a good entrepreneur, then you're just a top recruiter. And you're not moving those people into a space where they create a large organization like a Patrick Shaw or Donnell Soap or Brian Carruthers or whoever else has. I mean, let's look at the wins. I mean, goodness gracious, in 12 months, $280,000, not because they just had a skill set, but because they're entrepreneurs and they believe in what they're doing. And you can hear the passion throughout their team. And it's a difference, right? And this is not to knock anybody, but for those that, some of you will get this, it'll go over your head. Some of y'all, just wait for it. You'll get it after you get off the webinar. There's a difference, a big difference in the posture. And some of the people right now that I see getting their 50K ring in 3 or 4 months, their posture versus 2 years ago, there were people doing the same thing. And it wasn't posture, it was hype. It wasn't posture, it was arrogance. It was like, look what I did. But the people now that I see getting their 50K ring in 6 months, they're blaming it on the system. They're blaming it on leadership. They're saying, I can't believe that this works this way and the support that I'm getting. And 2 years ago, I was hearing, I, me, look what I did. So it's a difference. It's a difference in that pot, because it's about understanding being an entrepreneur and that you can't do it on your own. If your vision is in a place where you can do it all on your own, then your vision is not big enough. If whatever empire you're talking about building, you think you don't need people, then your vision is not big enough, because you can't build an empire by yourself. You just can't do it. So you got to understand that what's going to happen is you're going to build a limited empire because you got a limited mindset. You got to take the blinders off, guys. We've got to understand that we're in a perfect company right now. But if you don't understand how to be an entrepreneur and you don't know how to get through the issues and the challenges, and you don't take responsibility when something happens within your organization, when you say something wrong to somebody on your team and they just leave and you say, I don't care if they left, I got another ring on. I don't care if they left, I got more EDs. I don't care if they left, they weren't that much of a producer anyway. That might be true, right? But it's something called rights versus responsibility. Rights versus responsibility. What does that mean? I've got a right to do something, but it might not be the responsible thing to do. The responsible thing to do is to take responsibility for what you've done wrong and apologize and say, hey, look, I didn't mean to say that way. When you called me, I was in a bad mood, whatever. So that because you don't know who that person is going to be in the future. They might be writing one membership a month right now, but you don't know what they're going to be doing in 2 years. And what you don't want to happen is you tick them off and they leave, and 2 years later, they're on somebody else's team, hitting executive director in 6 months. You shouldn't be making that decision because you're scared of that. You should be making that decision because it's the right thing to do. So guys, again, create value in yourself, right? Take responsibility for why you're where you're at today, so that you can take control back of your life, and then create a vision so that you can move forward. So Darlene Quincy, I'm sure you're still on the line. Do you want to tell us anything before we close out? Let me make sure you can unmute yourself. You're still there. Let's see where we at. You still there, Darlene Quincy? See if I can find you real quick. There you go. Oh, hold on. This might be you texting me. Let me see. Are you there?
Okay, now I am.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, I'm posing as Chiquisa Blanton, someone on my team. It's because I couldn't get on the call originally. So I don't have anything. This was a phenomenal call, Mr. Dunbar. I tell you, everything you said is so true. We have got to continue to speak by faith those things that we're believing for. When you were just talking, I wrote down, I can't build an empire by myself. And so that's a good affirmation that I'm going to add to my affirmation that says that I just believe that I receive having an empire that's built with a team, not by my own hands that I built, right? You got to always make sure that, and then when you're making your confessions too, or your affirmations, we call them affirmations, declarations, confessions. You want to do it not just about, we live in this world and it's not just about legal shield. Okay. So I don't want us to think that what we're talking about today is about our business, but you got a family, you've got kids, you've got a spouse, you've got a partner or whoever that is, you got a whole world to pray about or to make or affirm. And so it's, you can add so many things on the list. And so we're just asking you to speak positive things about yourself. I tell my kids all the time that, choose to believe the best about you. Out of your mouth has to only be, speak well. There's a scripture that says that, I can't think of the scripture right now, but I speak life into my business. I speak life about my children. So whatever looks wrong, I speak the opposite of that. So Mr. Dunbar, that's really all I have to say. I think that there's so much more that we can always go back into, but you've done an excellent job tonight. And so I just thank you for allowing me to participate.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate you accepting the invite. And like I said, we're going to do this every week, and I'm going to try to bring somebody else different on so people can hear from other people. But I want you guys to just really get it. So I know we've pretty much 15 minutes over, unless you read the one that said to 11:30. We're about 15 minutes over. But I wanted to make sure we got that information in, guys. So you'll see some flyers. You'll see some things letting you know when the next one is. I know it'll be next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, but I'll have a flyer out there. Actually, there are flyers in the chat, and I'll be sending you the flyer as well. So I just want to make sure that everybody is able to get something out of these. And so you will get an email with the recording for this. You will get the slideshow sent to you from this. You will get the flyer for next week's training. You will get the PDF of all of the affirmations that Darlene Quincy went over as well. So those are all coming in the email tomorrow from me. And we definitely appreciate you guys. And I'll shoot y'all an email as well, letting you guys know about next week's training so that you can get registered for it through Zoom. So guys, I appreciate you all for being on. Everybody have a fantastic evening. Give us some feedback, and we'll be talking to you guys next week. All right.